Hey everyone, how's it going? So I wanted to do a little video regarding the state of gaming. It's something that's been on my mind for the past couple of days. Well, for the past week or so, really. Now, some of you may be asking yourself, what's wrong with gaming? Well, not too much, honestly. Just one thing that could become a glaring issue if it's not addressed. And before I get into this, everything that I'm about to say is strictly my opinion. It's how I'm feeling right now with the climate of the game industry. Um, and you can feel free to disagree with me, and we could have a little debate in the comments. That's okay. But just remember that this is my opinion, and this is how I'm currently feeling. As many of you know, Fallout 76 has released in a terrible state. And again, before you guys start saying, well, this is new Fallout 76 gameplay. Yeah, you're right, because I can't log into Fallout long enough to record this video. So we're playing Destiny. Anyway, it's besides the point. It's not just the game that's in a really bad state. It's Bethesda and their relationship with their consumers and, us as gamers. And it has to do with them not being transparent, all the way up to straight up lying to paying customers. Again, if you've been keeping up with the news, the Bag-Gate, or what it's been known as, with the collector's edition, all that kind of stuff with their patches. So that's a whole separate thing. But so this game has become a stain on their name, and it's going to lead people to be suspicious in years to come with their future releases, like The Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. I had a friend straight up say to me the other day in Discord, yeah, I'm never buying a Bethesda game again. I immediately called him out on that because I knew he was bullshitting, and he was like, okay, yeah, never's a harsh, but there are people out there like me that are very wary of what's going to happen with the next game that Bethesda releases. And I'm not talking about Rage 2 or Doom Eternal. I'm talking about a Bethesda Games Softworks, or BGS game, Bethesda Game Studios. I don't know why I said Softworks. The game Fallout 76 is riddled with bugs and can sometimes be straight unplayable. I was playing the other night, and within 5 minutes, I was kicked out of a server twice. I've had the health drop glitch happen to me a bunch of times. But Fallout isn't the only culprit. Now, Battlefield 5 recently released, and while the game is playable, it's missing a bunch of content. It's missing story content, multiplayer content, and at least of the time of me writing and recording this, that's what had happened. So, if you'd like to know more about what's going on with Battlefield, I'll leave a link for Angry Joe's review down in the description. He does a great job covering it all. I think it's like a 30 to 40 minute video of him, Dell, and other Joe just talking about it. And, they don't just shit on the game. They actually go in depth, and they bring up valid points. And I think it's worth a watch all the way through. So, this is a problem. This is not only a problem, this is the problem that we're going to be discussing in today's video. Why are games being released like this? When did it become acceptable for companies to release unfinished games? Newsflash, it didn't. Now, Bethesda and Fallout and DICE and Battlefield 5, they aren't the first, right? Just think back in recent memory to 2014 and how Destiny 1 released, or a couple years ago to how No Man's Sky released. Now, before you guys start ripping into me, let me just say yes, I played Destiny 1 and I still play Destiny 2. And yes, I bought Fallout 76 at release. I did this all with big hopeful eyes like a kid on Christmas. And I, was let down in some cases and not in some others, but having been through the cycle of both of their releases to their current states for each game, I'm honestly worried, more so when looking towards Fallout 76, because Destiny 2 is in a really good place right now. Forsaken was fantastic, Black Armory just came out, and besides some, power level gating, everyone's having a great time. But I'm worried nonetheless, because when big developers release these games unfinished, and, they release them when they're clearly not ready to be released, I have to question them. Now, I don't know, maybe it's just because their publishers want money, maybe they're worried too much about stockholders and not worried enough about what the audience, us, gamers, actually want or what we think. If that's the case, they need to stop. So if you're listening, stop. Because if games keep being churned out in these conditions, people won't buy them. Look at Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, while yes, it was finished every year, it was released on such a yearly cadence that people got bored of it. Granted, I bought them and I played them, but, I could see the fatigue. When Origins came out, it was such a, revitalization for the franchise, and it was really good. And Odyssey's really good from what I hear, too. People are a little worried that it's another yearly release, but from what Ubisoft has claimed, there were 2 different studios working on these games at the same, working on these games. There was the Origins team, and there was the Odyssey team. So Odyssey was being worked on while Origins was out and, being finished up. But back to the topic at hand. Go search Fallout 76, and I guarantee you will find more people pointing out its flaws than praising it. Now, while I may be enjoying the little time I get with it, I know that it's bad. It's in a horrible state. I haven't played since the last patch, but from what I hear, things aren't looking so good. I'm trying to immerse myself in that game, and the way I like to play certain games is I like to get a little roleplay going. I like to just lose myself in the worlds because I'm a very imaginative kid and I'm a very creative kid. So when given the opportunity to play an RPG, I like to get immersed. And I can't even do that because I'm constantly getting kicked out of the servers. Every time I log in, boom, server lost, boom, server lost, boom, server lost, hard crash, hard crash. Oh, God. Sorry. The past couple of days trying to play Fallout 76 have been rough. Now, gamers and their developers have redeemed themselves. And I say this with not a bad taste in my mouth, but I'll get into it. So when you look at Destiny, and you look at No Man's Sky, The Division, For Honor, Rainbow Six Siege, all of these games, right now, when you look at them all, they're in a much better place than when they launched. And this was something I brought up on my friend TIE Fighter's podcast, Community Time. This was last week, and as well as my podcast, The Phantom Insult Super Show. And I'll leave links for those in the description as well if you guys want to go listen to them and listen to us talk about it. We don't just talk about this, but we talk about a bunch of things. And it's definitely a good time, so that'd be cool. But enough shameless plugging. Now it's great that these games essentially rebirthed themselves, right? They came back. Everyone loves a comeback story. They rose from the ashes, but the fact of the matter is, it shouldn't need to be that way in the first place. They shouldn't have to lose fans, or they shouldn't have to release in buggy, unplayable states, or not include this or not include that, just to do it a year later and everyone loves them. I don't know. I'm sitting here looking at my script. And is it releasing a AAA game every year? Is that the problem? Is it for the cash grab? Is it being rushed by publishers for the cash grab? Is it because a lot of these games nowadays want to be a live service? And I'll probably end up doing a video of what I think about the trend of gaming right now. Whatever the case may be, we, the consumer, the gamers, the people, the bright-eyed kids and adults that are playing these games, we have to speak up. Now, I mentioned at the start of this video that this could be a glaring issue. The keyword is could. We, like I've said a couple times, we have to say something. We have to raise our voices. We have to, make a stand, draw a line in the sand, hold the line. Now, that doesn't mean demanding blood. If a game launches, it's immediately like death threats, hate threats, like none of that. That's toxic. And that doesn't help anybody. In fact, it makes things worse. When it comes time to criticize games and to criticize these companies, we have to be constructive in our criticism. Now, we have to be vocal and tell them that we, as consumers and gamers more specifically, we're not going to stand for any of this shit. We'll not stand for fully priced products that are not finished. Or we won't stand for the pre-orders, for all this DLC, for, loot boxes, whatever it is. We just won't deal with it anymore. If that means a game that has to be delayed, fine. If that means that a company doesn't announce a game at E3 because they want to wait till the game is further along in development, fine. Do it. Just do it. If there are any developers out there that find their way to this video, whether you're from Bungie or Bethesda or you're a publisher like Activision or EA. I'm just asking for something simple. I'm not asking for your head. I'm not asking for the world on a silver platter. I'm just asking that you please just respect us as gamers and as people. Because you guys are gamers. You know, you were once those bright-eyed kids running home to play Nintendo, to play PlayStation and Sega. You know, now we're the kids, we're the adult, you know, we're the people running home to play Xbox and PS4 and Nintendo Switch. We want to play your game. We enjoy losing ourselves in the worlds you build and the characters and the stories you tell. Not just for release, but because it's our passion. It's our hobby, just as much as it is yours. You know, I play games nowadays, you know, being 24, not just to escape from my, you know, my job or escape from any problems I'm having. Yes, that happens sometimes. But I'm doing it because it's my passion. I'm making this video because I care about these things and I'm passionate about them. That's why. So give us reasons to come back to your game. And I'm not saying make it a game as a service. There are plenty of games that aren't services that I have played like over and over again. I have beaten Kingdom Hearts 2 10 times. It's my favorite thing to do. You want to put trophies in your game? Yeah, put trophies in your game. You want to put collectibles in your game? Yeah. You want to put secrets? You want to do this? You want to do all this? Yeah, it's fine if you do it. Just do it right. Respect us as gamers. Don't pull the wool over our eyes. Don't overcharge us for stuff that's not there. One of the greatest game developers right now, if you ask people that are like really into the scene, I guarantee you at least half of them will say CD Projekt Red. Why? Because CD Projekt Red respects us as gamers. The Witcher came out, and they were like, hey, we have 2 paid expansions, Hearts of Stones and Blood of Wine. They're going to be huge expansions. They're not going to be a little mission. They're not going to be a cutscene. They're going to be full-blown expansions with new areas to explore, new gear to get, new levels to grind, new monsters to hunt, a new story with Geralt, with Ciri, with all your favorite characters. That's all we're asking you to pay for. Everything else, if you want Geralt to have some new hair, if you want Yennefer and Triss to have new outfits, you want some new weapon hunts, you know, a couple new monsters maybe, some new gear, that's all free. And I'm not saying that every company does that, but that's one of the reasons people love CD Projekt Red so much. Yes, they put out an amazingly finished game that has just hours and hours of content to sink your teeth into, and it's thoughtful, and it's handcrafted, and you can tell how much love they put into it. And I'm not saying that these other developers, I'm not saying they don't do that, but I'm just saying is like, I feel like sometimes they could have put more in. With all that being said, I just want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below, whether you agree with me or you think I'm blowing hot air out of my ass. It doesn't matter. I want to have conversations with you guys. I want to know what you guys think about this. The links for all my social medias are in the description below, as well as links to all the videos and podcasts I referenced. So make sure you go check them out. Angry Joe, I personally love his channel. I know some of you guys may not, but as a fanboy of certain games, when he gives that like real uncut look at them and like points out their flaws when they're glaring and they're big issues, I agree with him. I have to, because if I don't, then games won't get any better. Community time with Ty, that's a fun time. Make sure you go check out Tyler's channel. He's a great guy, and he makes some really high quality content over on his YouTube channel and on his Mixer channel as well. And then we have a podcast. Me and my best friend Salt, we started the podcast, The Phantom Insult Super Show, and we don't really talk about anything too specific. We talk about games and you know, some comic book stuff, like the comic book movies, you know, TV shows, just stuff like that. We're just a couple of everyday gamers who wanted to make a podcast for people like us. So if you're interested, make sure you go check that out. But if you liked this video, feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like this video, you know, sorry. Maybe I'll make one that you'll like one day. But if you guys want more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe and click the little bell icon as well. You know, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell the Grim Reaper. I don't really care who you tell. Tell someone you hate. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great night, great day, whenever you're watching this, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. Later!